Okay, so this lesson covers ellipses. So this is the center form equation for ellipses, and the major axis is always the larger denominator. Okay, so this example I'm going to write in standard form, and then we're going to say the center and the major axis. And these are the steps we're going to follow. Okay, so first arrange terms in correct order. That means put x's with x's and y's with y's. And then factor out a coefficient if there's one for quadratic terms. And third step is complete the square, which is what you saw in writing equations center form for circles. And then 4 set equal to 1 like it is here. So for this first example, I am going to move this 4 to this side. Okay, so then this becomes negative 4. So I am going to leave the x squared just like it is. X squared plus 2y squared plus 8y is equal to negative 4. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to factor out a GCF on the y's. All right, so then I keep the x squared like it is, but then I'm going to factor out a 2 for y. So this is 2 times y squared becomes 2 times y squared, and then plus 4y equals negative 4. So then I'm going to complete the square with this part, which means this stays as x squared plus 2 times y plus divide that 4 by 2. It gives you a 2, and then you take the square, and this equals negative 4. But don't forget, we have a 2. We got to take the square of this 2, and to complete the square and also multiply by 2. So if I take the square of 2, that's equal to 4, and multiply that by 2, that gives you 8. So that means I'm going to add 8 more outside of the parentheses. I mean on this side of the equation. Okay. So then this becomes a positive 4. So we have x squared plus 2 times y plus 2 squared equals 4. Now we want to set this equal to 1, which means I'm going to divide this by 4, this term by 4, and x squared by 4. So then this becomes x squared over 4 plus this 2 and that 4 reduced to, this 4 reduces to 2, so then this is y plus 2 squared over 2, and that equals 4 divided by 4 is 1, which is what we want. Okay, so now this is set equal to 1. So once you get to this point, you can write the center, the coordinates of the center. Notice that for x squared there is no h value, which means h has to be 0. Okay, so then I'm going to say that the center point C for center has coordinates of 0, and this is plus 2, so that means y is negative 2. And the major axis, this is the greatest of the denominator, so we look at the larger one. So this is the largest, so that means the major axis. Okay, so the major axis is the x-axis. So on this second example, I'm going to rearrange. So let's see, I have x squared. I'm going to bring these 4 x's and place them in after the x squared. And then plus 4y squared minus 24y. And I'm going to bring this positive 36 to the other side, which means when I do that, it becomes a negative 36. Okay. So that's the first step, arrange terms in correct order. So x's with x's and y's with y's. Then see if there's you can factor out a coefficient. So in this case with the x's, there is no coefficient, right? But with the y's, there's a coefficient of 4. So I am going to copy x squared plus 4x, leave that as it is, but then GCF of 4, and then this becomes y squared minus 6y. Is equal to negative 36. Okay, so that's step 2. Then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to complete the square. So I'm going to write this as x, divide that 4 by 2, it becomes a 2. Then close the parentheses, take the square, plus 4 times y. Divide this negative 6 by 2, becomes a minus 3 square. Now don't forget, here I need to take the square of 2, which is 4, so then I need to keep that negative 36, but then because of this, add 4 to it. And then also, I'm taking the square of negative 3, which is 9, but then I still need to multiply that by 4, which is 36, okay? So this is by completing the square. So then what I'm going to do next is, I'm going to leave this as it is, x plus 2 square plus 4 times y minus 3 square. And then when I combine 4, well, I hope you can see this 36 and that 36 cancel out. So what's left is a 4. But then from here, so then I need to turn this into a 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this by 4, this one by 4, and this 4 by 4. So I can make this a 1. So then this becomes x plus 2 square over 4 plus this 4 and that 4. This becomes a 1. So y minus 3 square. And just for the sake of it, write a 1 under it. So you can see the denominator. And this is equal to 1. So now the equation is written in standard form. Okay, but from here we can see the coordinates of the center. So the center has coordinates of negative 2, comma, positive 3. And as you can see, the major axis is one with the largest denominator. This is a 4 and this is a 1. So then the major axis is the x-axis. So major axis is the x-axis. Okay, in this example, these are x's with x's and y's with y's. So what I am going to do is I'm going to find a GCF here, coefficient as a GCF. So this is 9, and then this becomes x squared minus 18 divided by 9 is 2. So this is 2y. Plus, there's a GCF of 4 here. So 4 times y squared plus 4y equals 11. Okay. So then I'm going to complete the square. So this is 9, and then this becomes x. I'm dividing negative 2 by 2. It becomes a minus 1 squared plus 4 times, and then we have y plus, divide this 4 by 2. It so that gives you a 2, and take the square, and this is equal to 11. Now let's complete the square. So I take the square of negative 1, which is negative 1 times negative 1. That's positive 1, but then I need to multiply by 9, which means I'm going to add 9 here because of this one here. Now for the y's, I'm going to take the square of 2, which is 4, then multiply that 4 by 4. So then that gives me a 16. Okay. So then from here, we have 9 times x minus 1 square plus 4 times y plus 2 square equals, okay, when you combine 11 plus 9 is 20, 20 plus 16, 36. But then we need to turn this into a 1, which is the last step, so I'm going to divide by 36, all 3 terms. So then this 9 over 36, this reduces to x minus 1 square over 4, right? And then plus this 4 just becomes y plus 2 over 4 goes into 36 9 times, and that is equal to 1. So now the equation is written standard form. So from here, we can see that the center of this ellipse is at positive 1 for x and negative 2 for y, and the major axis, as you can see, 9 is the largest, so this is with the y, so that means the y-axis is the major axis. Okay, so this is the answer to that last example.